This is a major health update. Hiya pals, Siskateer Mary here, and welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to talk to you about my breast cancer journey. You guys know that this is October and we're supporting breast cancer awareness for our Pinktober content. And most of you already know that I was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2013. Today is actually the 10-year anniversary of my diagnosis. I was diagnosed with HER2 positive breast cancer on October 22nd, 2013. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, where I started and what's going on now 10 years later. Like I said, on the 22nd of October, I'd been diagnosed with breast cancer. We decided to do a double mastectomy, which was done on November the 11th, 2013. Once the doctor got in and started the surgery and the procedure, she found that I had 11 tumors. I had 2, I believe, in my right breast and 9 in the lymph nodes on the right side. So they went ahead and removed both breasts and all those lymph nodes. And it was, it was a surgery. It was a major surgery. We had spoken with the doctor about how we were going to proceed. We did the surgery. I was out of work for about 4 weeks, not being really able to do anything with my arms. If you've had a major surgery in your shoulder, upper chest, arm area, you know how tough that is. After that surgery, we went and met with an oncologist at St. Vincent's Bruno Cancer Center in Birmingham, Alabama, and were advised to do chemo and radiation on top of the surgery that I had already had. They advised us to do the chemo and the radiation to help kill any other cells that may be still in my body. So we met with the oncologist and we determined that I was going to get a port put in so that I could have the chemo put directly into my body without being stuck each time I had to go, because I was going to have to go every other week for chemotherapy. And also one thing, when you have lymph nodes removed, you're no longer able to draw blood or blood pressure from that side of your body. So I'm a left side stick only from that. So we put the port in here. And that was on December the 9th, 2013. Not only did I get my port, but I also went immediately to my very first chemotherapy appointment, where I received something called the Red Devil. I do not remember its clinical name. I just know that that's its like street name. It's called the Red Devil. It's one of the most potent chemotherapy drugs out there, or at least it was in 2013. They coupled it with 2 other drugs and a Herceptin, which is something that you would take, or a breast cancer patient would take for a long time, for a while. I ended up doing Herceptin for a little bit longer than my regular chemo. So I did chemo for 16 treatments. And then once the chemo was over in early 2014, we did 25 radiation treatments, and they do radiation just specifically in the area where the tumors were. So the radiation was targeted just to my right breast side. And so it was like 5 to 6 minutes at a time. But radiation is one of those things that 5 or 6 minutes of radiation can feel like 8 hours out in the sun. It's very draining. It's very taxing on your body. The chemo for the first couple of weeks that I did it was very very hard on me, and it would make you sick. So I would do chemo, just say we would do chemo on a Thursday. I would not be sick on Friday. I'd be sick on Saturday and Sunday. So it would take a little bit longer. After about 3 chemo treatments, the nausea started backing off a little bit, and I wouldn't get sick near as much. I would only be sick for maybe a day. So that got a lot better. Radiation, however, was exhausting. I would go to radiation at 7:30 every morning, Monday through Friday, for 5 weeks. We did 25 radiation treatments, and was exhausting. I would a lot of times go to work after that. But the doctor had told me that I needed to be off work by about 4 o'clock in the afternoon so that I could spend the evening resting, taking some time to rest my body because it was taking on a lot of radiation. Once the radiation treatments were done in May of 2014, May the 19th of 2014, I was declared cancer-free. There were no more cancer cells, no more tumors. There was no more cancer in my body as of May 2014, May 19th, 2014. So that was awesome. That was exciting. We did some scans and different things throughout that time to determine that. I did still do Herceptin for a little bit longer, and they put me on a pill called tamoxifen, which is like a hormone pill. So after that, I decided to do a reconstructive surgery in January of 2015. And that went really well. I did a reconstruction. It was super awesome. And in February of 2015, I got an infection from that reconstructive surgery. They say that's about a 50-50 chance when you have that reconstructive surgery that you could potentially get an infection. So I did. They had to remove the right breast. And honestly, I've just never felt the need to go and have it reconstructed. So that's, part of it. I just never really wanted to do that. So we are up to 2015. Honestly, I had really no issues. I went to the doctor every 6 months for 5 years, up until 2020, I believe. And then in 2020, I started going just once a year. I was still doing the tamoxifen. I would go and, different things would be low. We would draw blood. We'd talk to the doctor, talk about how I was feeling. My iron would be low. My B12 would be low. Sometimes just different things. And then in February of this year, February of 2023, I got a rediagnosis of stage 4 metastatic breast cancer, which means it has metastasized and moved to another portion of my body. The cancer has moved into my lungs, and in February, actually in January, they found some cancer markers in my blood work because I go every January. So in January, they found some cancer markers in my blood work, and so we had done a few other tests. I ended up having to have a bronchial scope instead of a biopsy because of where the masses are. It was a little too close to my spleen. They didn't want to do a biopsy there, so they stuck the bronchial down my throat and determined that I had 4 tumors, 3 on the left side of my breast here and 1 underneath my left lung. So after speaking with my oncologist, we opted not to do regular chemotherapy or radiation. We are doing the chemo-like pills, which is mostly just a hormone therapy. It's basically just to maintain and keep the cancer from growing any further. So I started out on a drug called Ibrance, and after 3 months, you do your CT scan and your bone scan, your full body after 3 months on the drug. So after the first 3 months on Ibrance, I went back, I had my scans, and 3 of the tumors, the 3 tumors in the breast tissue, were gone. And the tumor underneath my left lung had shrunk by almost a centimeter. So the drugs are doing more than what were anticipated. It is incredible, actually. So I just recently had my next 3-month scan. I had to switch my medication from Ibrance to Kisqali. It's the same type of thing. It's just a little bit different. It's a little bit higher dose, but it does the same thing. It's like a hormone therapy that just, helps to maintain, as opposed to like, it doesn't not technically supposed to be killing the cells, but it does sometimes. So I had my last scan, and the day that I'm filming this is the day before I actually go to the doctor to get the full results from that scan. But she called me once they got the results and said that it's better than previous. There's no like specifics. When I find out specifics, I will put them up here. If it's smaller, if it's gone, whatever it is, I'll just put it right here so you guys can know that whatever is happening, but it is better. The scan was better than it was previously, which leads me to believe that it's just continuing to shrink. It's continuing to shrink. I'm doing the right medications. On top of the Kisqali, I do get a shot every month. I get 2 shots. They're very painful in my hips. There are side effects from the shots or side effects from the medication, but I'm still doing everything that needs to be done. And I am working through it. If you don't know, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit now about what metastatic breast cancer is, or metastatic cancer in general. Metastatic, like I said, means that it has moved into other parts of your body. It's also pretty much never going to go away. It's always going to be there once it's been classified like that. And stage 4 also is the stage with which it is moved to another portion of your body. They didn't stage my first diagnosis because the surgeon said she didn't like to do that and worry people, especially when you can do all the treatments that I did for the first bout and have the results that I had. So, but my oncologist did give me this diagnosis this time, which again, we're just pushing through it. We're doing the things we need to be doing, and it's getting better. That's my story. That is from beginning to now. There will probably be more updates as more things happen. If you guys have questions, if you want to ask me anything specifically about my case, my cancer, feel free to do that in the comments. If you have questions about anything else, ask it in the comments. And if you are a female, they tell you over the age of 35, but I was 32 when I was first diagnosed. But if you are a female over the age of 35, please go and get a mammogram. Please self-check. If you feel any abnormalities, call your doctor. It is very, very, very important. It's very important. I cannot stress, and that's with every cancer. That's not just breast cancer. Breast cancer is just what I am dealing with. I've had friends who've had other cancers, and people I know who, if they hadn't been diligent about their self-care, it may not have been caught in time. So please, please, please self-check. Please go to the doctor as you need to. Have the test done. If you or someone in your family has been diagnosed with breast cancer, make sure you take the genetics testing and see if you're genetically predisposed to having this, because that is a thing. I did not have it, and therefore it wasn't necessary for my mom or my sister or my aunts or my cousins to move into any sort of preventative plans. So it's just in me for some reason, just an abnormality. But yeah, that's it. That's my story. That's my journey. That's what I'm going through. Again, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. And that is everything, I guess. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting our Pinktober. And until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.